So today we are going to move on to the final part of the pattern. By now, each one of you eliminate the pink lines. Please don't look at the pink lines for now. All of you will be having this pattern which is straight from the side seam, separated for your back and your front. Once you have this pattern, now we get into the process of shaping. So before I do, I'm going to add a quick little note. If you remember, this line that we had at the underarm was half of bust, which is whatever it was. So I had taken 88 as my bust, plus 44, half of that is 44, and plus 5 centimeters. So when you have half bust plus 5 centimeters, it essentially means that 5 centimeters is your ease. And as such, normal, a standard bodice, the difference between your bust size and your hips, your measurements at the hip is on a half scale 5 centimeters. So on a round, it's 10 centimeters. That's a normal difference. So that has been given. So as such, the hip over here should be fitting the hip of the person who has a regular sized body. The thing is that at our hip we see maximum play of movement. So you sit down. When you sit down, your back stretches, it's a curve, and the fabric needs that additional give and play. So what we are going to do is we are going to add a little bit of fabric to the hip, or to our pattern at the hip, to ensure that there is no tightness at the hip for the sheath that you're making. Now on your dress form, where you don't bend, straighten the dress form, you really don't need this additional measurement. But on a person, a normal person who will bend, sit, get down, you do need this measurement. So what I did was, if you can see, I have just taped this additional piece of paper as a strip to the side, okay, which is where I'm going to add on my extra room and give my shaping at the waist. So in order to give the shaping at the waist, personally, this is my preference, personal preference, and some patterns will tell you, many will not. I mark off a point which is approximately 3 to 4 centimeters from armhole. Okay, so around 1.5 to 2 inches of I mark a point. Now the next point I mark is 2 centimeters to the inside. Let's put an X over there for you to understand. It's 2 centimeters from the side seam that you had in your original pattern. Similarly, in the front, I have marked a point which is approximately, let's say, 3 to 4 centimeters down, and again another point which is 2 centimeters into the inside. Once I do that, for the back pattern at the hip line, I make an additional mark which is 1.5 centimeters away to the outside from the side seam. In the front pattern, I mark a similar point which is 1 centimeter to the outside. Okay, so this is basically. Now I will use a hip curve. If you don't have a hip curve, a standard scale will work just as well. It will take you a little bit of time to form the shape. So I'm for now going to use a hip curve to show you what I'm doing. Now this is my curve. This is the, if I keep it straight, this is the outer edge of the curve, and this is the straight part. The lower part is the straight part. So I place the lower part and form a guideline which is part almost to the waist, not fully to the waist, and then I use the lower half. So now I am on a table. It's a little difficult for me. It should not be upside down, so it should be taken this way, okay? And I will use that curve to join my point, which is 1.5 centimeters away, and my line. So as I said, that this is a little difficult because I don't have the option. Now I use, and then I use my, just as a, sort of a curve. It should not be a point, right? So I have a new seam line which is like that. This is my shaping at the waist. Similarly, for my front, I'm going to draw it freehand in case anybody feels confident enough to. I am going to join these points and create another curve. Okay, so that is your shaping at the side for the front and the back. Very quickly, I am going to cut this so that you get a sense of how it looks when you have the shaping done. Okay, so that is my back. Similarly, for my front, I would encourage you, if you can, use your hip curve to do these drawings, because it just helps. It helps you to a straighter and a slightly better line. So I hope you can see now. If I move this pattern up, I hope you can see that's how the shaping at the waist and the hip looks in your final pattern. At the end of this, after doing this, match the two side seams. Now that you have a curve, you may find that a little bit of a difference has happened. Match the two side seams. Make sure that they are of the same length. If they are not, trim the one slightly, the one which is shorter, trim it. You will find, if at all, you will have 1/4 centimeter difference, not more than that. So that becomes your shaping, one of your shapings at the waist. The second shaping of the waist is at the darts which we form on our waistline. Now both the darts that we have made on our waistline, this dart goes up to the bust point and this dart goes all the way to the line at the shoulder arm side. So let me start with the shaping that we are doing with the back first. Now why do I have multiple lines? Because the dart at the back conventionally is 1 centimeter plus 1 centimeter on either side. It's 2 centimeters. Now your dart can be up to 1.5, around half an inch, or even maximum 2 centimeters. Now I don't normally recommend a 2 centimeter dart because it gives your garment too much shaping. Okay, so I would say stick to 1 centimeter on either side of the line, maximum 1.5 centimeters, so total of 3 centimeters. Okay, and where do you get the point from the bottom? This point is 7 centimeters from the hip line. From the hip line, you go up 7 centimeters. Okay, it's 7 centimeters up from the hip line. So that is your, and you draw your dart. This dart, kind of a dart, as I've mentioned earlier, is called a fish dart, because it's not a dart which is, this is a regular dart. This kind of fish shaped dart is a fish dart. So this is your back completed. There is nothing more to show in this pattern. Now we do the same thing for the front. We draw a dart which is up to your bust point, but instead of 7 centimeters, it's 5 centimeters up from your baseline. Okay, and your dart is 1.5 centimeters on either side of the line. And so this is again a 3 centimeter dart in total, and you create once more a fish dart. This is your final pattern as is. Any further adjustments that you will do will be mostly changing the style lines for these patterns. A few things again I would like to mention. There is enough shaping at the waist, okay, over here. Now, if you feel compelled to give it more shaping, what happens is, again, it's about the fabric. If you give too much of shaping over here, the fabric becomes, as you stitch, your stitch line will be on bias, right? If you increase this angle, it creates a bias, not a true bias maybe, but it creates a bias, which creates an uneven stretching of the fabric at your waist. And as such, that garment will always have problems at your waist. So do not increase this waist curve by, maybe you can always decrease it. You can always decrease it. But if you look at it, if you've taken off 3 centimeters here, 2 and 2, 4 centimeters, and again 3 centimeters here, you've already given 3 and 3, 6 and 4, 10 centimeters on a half. So 20 centimeters of shaping to your garment. It's already there, built in this pattern. Now, if you don't require the 20 centimeters, somebody requires less, somebody requires a broader waist, you can always reduce the shaping at the waist, you can always reduce these darts, you can also remove the darts. These darts you can just not draw. It works perfectly fine without these darts. This dart will transform your pattern into a close fitted pattern, these set of darts. So complete your pattern and drawing your pattern, and in the next video we are going to move forward into trying to understand how you can move the positioning of the darts.